What's going on, everyone? It is Easter, so happy Easter for everyone out there. In a previous Project Royal Enfield video, I replaced the stock mirrors on my classic 350 with the bar end mirrors that Royal Enfield sells. A lot of you, including myself, pointed out just how ridiculously overpriced these bar end mirrors are. 250 American dollars. And that doesn't even include the additional 16 bucks that you have to spend for the required adapters. It's insanely expensive considering the touring seat and the pillion cost roughly about the same price, and that's with both of those seats together. A lot of people asked, okay, well, what about other mirrors that you could use instead of the OEM bar ends by Royal Enfield? Well, there's of course a bunch of different options available on sites like Hitchcock and Amazon. They do have mirrors that are definitely compatible, if not specifically made for this bike. And that's where this video comes into play. So a company by the name of Fenrir sent me a pair of bar end mirrors to try out for my classic 350. They do have a bunch of different mirrors that you can pick from, both traditional in style and of course bar end mirrors. They also sell other things like mirror extensions, caps, and bike covers if you're in the market for that sort of thing. I specifically asked them to send me a pair of mirrors that closely resembles that of the OEM bar ends. And there will be a link, of course, in the description for this exact product in case you are interested. The cost of these mirrors is dramatically less. You're looking at about 60 bucks versus the OEM ones at $250. Plus, again, that cost of the adapters. But does that massive difference in price reflect in quality and functionality? Well, that's what I intend to find out. Here they are out of the box. Yeah, I went ahead and installed the actual mirror part to the post because why not? It comes with 3 different spacers, as well as this expanding bit for installing into handlebars that have hollowed out ends. This is essentially a universal kit, so the way that you install it is going to differ depending on whatever bike you may have. For me, the only thing I actually needed from this kit was that medium-sized spacer and the end cap. I had to reuse the bolt that was already installed into my bar end. The one that Fenrir provides is just too long. To install this on the Classic 350 requires basically no effort. Simply remove the bolt from the old bar end, in my case the adapter and the OEM mirrors, and then replace it with the Fenrir mirror. Again, this is just using the medium-sized spacer and the cap that Fenrir provides. Once you have everything tightened down and adjusted, you're good to go. It's one of the easiest things you can do, and it really shouldn't take you longer than 2 minutes tops. I know it's utterly ridiculous. I'm purposely only installing one of these mirrors so that I can, I guess, do kind of like a head-to-head comparison between the Fenrir and the expensive OEM mirrors. Bear with the awkwardness. Couple things right off the bat. The mirrors are definitely lighter in weight than the OEM ones, but they are made from aluminum, thankfully. I've had the displeasure of handling some cheap junky ones from Amazon and eBay in the past, some of which had plastic mounting points that I could easily break just from squeezing them in my hands. This actually surprised me with how solid the Fenrir ones felt. I wouldn't be shocked if these didn't break on me if I were to, I don't know, accidentally throw them at someone I didn't like. The mirrors are, okay, a little bit odd because the reflection has a blue tint to it. No, it's not some cover or film on the lens, anything like that. I looked online and came to find out that it's a type of anti-glare lens. So what happens is that when you're riding around at night, the lens from that mirror is going to help cut out the intensity of headlights from those people behind you, which is great since here in the Midwest, half the people out here have lifted trucks and just, for some reason, like to run around with their high beams on. The Fenrir Mirrors are also smaller than the Royal Enfield ones, both with the length of the post and the actual mirrors themselves. You would think that this might affect your field of view and, make it a little bit more difficult to spot vehicles and objects behind you, but in reality, I never had an issue at all. Your field of view might be slightly less than the Fenrir ones, but when you're riding around, it's not noticeable. Honestly, the only part about these Fenrir mirrors that I question is the black finish. So I only really say this because one of the end caps that I've never even touched, by the way, has a bit of a paint defect. You can tell that the black finish, for whatever reason, has worn off in certain areas. Now, does that mean the mirrors and the posts will have issues with the finish wearing off over time? I have no idea. So tell me what you think of these mirrors. It goes without saying that yes, the Royal Enfield ones are stupid expensive. We can all agree with that. But for 60 bucks, the Fenrir mirrors, are they even a good alternative? Me personally, I think they're pretty damn great. They fit really nice on a bike like this. They're perfectly functional, they look good, and they're not made of plastic. And the best part really is that they only cost like 80% less money than the Royal Enfield ones do. These Fenrir ones might actually be the perfect alternative for the money. And like I said, they have plenty of other styles available if these round mirrors just don't do it for you. So maybe check these out for your bike. Even if you don't have a classic 350 like I do, Fenrir does make a ton of mirrors that are compatible with several manufacturers, so if nothing else, check out the website and see if they have anything for your particular bike. Yeah, so that's about it, guys. I know this wasn't exactly a long video. It didn't really need to be. Regardless, I hope I've been some help to those of you who are curious about these Fenrir mirrors and or wanted a cheaper alternative to that of the insanely expensive ones by Royal Enfield. Again, a link will be in the description. No, by the way, I am not sponsored. I did not get paid to make this video, anything like that. I'm just an independent weirdo who has an opinion and who loves all things motorcycles. Again, thank you so much for watching. Take care, everyone, and I hope to see you next time.